I had to take the bike down for a new rear tire, and when I pulled the rear tire out, I found that the spindles were knife edged, and so that drove me into having to completely rebuild my rear differential. And I thought, well, you know, heck, while I'm here, I'd go ahead and install the progressive air shocks on the rear and the progressive springs in the front forks. I searched all around and looked at the different forums, and yeah, I mean, it's not real complicated to do it, unless if you have the tool. Cat's trying to get up here. Anyway, I didn't want to spend the money for the tool. It's expensive, it's hard to find, and I saw a couple sites where you could actually make your own, and that was a good idea, but I thought, what the heck, you know, I just try to go it alone, and this is what I did. And I thought it was pretty darn simple. So maybe you too could do without the tool and just install the springs without it. Okay, well, let's see here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark here wherever the threads start. It's just an empty tube right now. There's no spring in it. And they are super fine threads. So right there. And I'm gonna, actually there's marks on the top of the cap. So I'm just gonna match that mark down there and down here. I don't really need two, but that way I'll see it for sure, depending on what I'm doing. And I made me a little dipstick. So this is my dipstick, and that tells me what my level is supposed to be, if I remember correctly. It's 7.3 inches for these shocks. This is a GL1500 7.6, which that is exactly 7.6. It's 12 some odd ounces of fluid. Need to make sure that's fully extended and get it clamped up in the vise nice and tight. I've got my measuring cup here, and I'll just do 2 pours, which will be 6 ounces each. This bottle is almost empty, so that's 5 ounces. I ended up using the Lucas synthetic oil. It's a high performance fork oil. I had to wait a little bit longer to get it because I couldn't get it locally, but I think it was well worth the wait. So we'll go ahead and take this one up to 6 ounces. Good even number. Actually, I need to mark that cap. I didn't do that. That one and that one. Fill her up. Another 6 ounces. And I'm going to exercise the shock to make sure that the fluid all gets down to the bottom and I get all the air out. Okay. Clamp her back up. And yeah, I've got rubber jaws on this clamp so I don't damage the chrome. And I'm just going to add a little bit. That's enough for now. Go ahead and get out my dipstick. Not there yet. A little bit. I'm going to grab a flashlight. Okay, we're right there at our mark. So that's good. That's our oil level. And I've got the progressive spring here. This is the OEM spring. Quite a bit difference in length. The heavily wound end. Most people say they like it at the bottom. It reduces noise from the strut. You can see how far that sticks up. I've got my cap. I've got my marks on my cap. I know where to put it, where it starts. Next, I need to spin it around so I can see it. There they are. Make sure the strut is fully extended, which it is now. Now this is the fun part. Now I'm going to take a 1/2 inch drive with an extension and a breaker bar. I'm only putting the breaker bar on it so it gives me some leverage to push down. And I'm going to take my cap. I know that it's going to, first thread is going to be right here because this is a bear. And it may take a couple of times before I finally get it. We're going to push it down. Once I get it down and set, then I'm going to slowly start spinning it. So right about there is where the first thread is. So I'm going to see if that will catch. Nope, I missed it. Ah, that's it. I heard it click, I think. There we go. Spin it down and we're done. It's not real bad without the tool. I would have bought the tool if it wasn't unreasonably expensive. And it is hard to find. Oops. That wasn't very smart, huh? Put that guy back in there. Fortunately, my leg was in the way, so it didn't go anywhere. That's it. We're done. Clean off my black magic marker, even though it's not really needed. Bike's not going to care. And there we go. We got one that's ready to go get installed. I was surprised when I did the first one. This is actually the second one on the video, because after I did the first one, it was actually surprisingly easy. And probably the easiest trick for me was to mark where the thread started. When I first started to do it on the first fork, I didn't mark the threads, and so I was hunting and trying to do circles while pressing it, and once I marked it, it was simple. And I hope it helps. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know down below in the comments section, and happy riding. I love my wing. It's a 95. She's got 105,000 miles on her, and she's still doing great. No payments, and long since paid for. Take care, okay?